Hey everybody. You might remember my little owner's manuals I made for Tigger and Piglet. They were kind of a joke, but they ended up being really interesting, and I decided to make one for myself. So I broke down what was in it into prompts and printed out a blank and made one for myself, which says, Setting Your Danny Up for Success, an owner's manual. And you can get an idea of what it looks like inside. Just got a bunch of prompts, and I filled them out. And it worked so well that I had a little crafting party, and I invited everyone over, and we printed out a bunch of blanks. And so everyone got to make an owner's manual for themselves. And so some of the stuff in here are, I'm an extrovert, introvert, my love languages, how I feel most intimate on a bad days, or if I'm in a bad mood, this is what I look like. I self-care. This is how I self-care. When I was a kid, things that trigger me, how I react when I'm triggered, what I can do when I'm triggered to get back on the rails, how to interact with me when I'm upset, please do, please don't type things. And on the back is your spirit animal in your Hogwarts house. It was actually a lot of fun. The party was great, and I decided to just release the template on my website, dannyburble.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to print it out and cut it up. I think it's really useful for things like, role-playing characters, things like that. Getting a really good understanding of some cartoon characters, because they're usually one or two dimensional, but it's amazing how well they get certain personality styles across. And if you find a character that kind of resonates with you, it's amazing how much you'll learn about yourself if you make one. Also, I made one of these, and I literally made a copy and gave it to the person I was dating. And it has already come up once or twice that they have opened up the manual and said, okay, well, it seems like right now you're a little bit triggered, and these are the things you've asked me to do. Is that still hold? And the answer was yes. And they also made manuals and handed them to me. And it's suddenly we're communicating on a whole nother level. It's amazing. So I highly recommend printing this out, cutting it up, and making an owner's manual for yourself, because just getting to know yourself at that level is kind of amazing. And also think about sharing it with someone you love. So now I'm going to show you how to make it. And real quick, you can find all of these on my website, dannyburble.com, or on my YouTube channel. The first thing you're going to do is print it out front and back. So here's the first page. This is going to be your manual. And then there's the instructions on the third page. And I'm basically just going to walk through the instructions here today. The first step is to make sure that it's printed all in the same direction. So that way is up for all the text on both sides. Now we're going to cut it in half twice. We're going to cut it in half like this, and we're going to cut it in half like that. You can do that by folding the page and making a score and then coming back and hitting it with your scissors. Or you can use a paper cutter like I'm going to do today. I have my paper cutter set to 5.5 for my first cut. We're just going to cut it in half long ways. Always just take a quick look to make sure it looks like half so you don't make an accidental cut. What is that? Measure twice, cut once. Once I've got it here, I'm going to knock this down to 4.25. And there we go. The next step is to make sure they're all facing the same way. And then we're going to stack them, and the order is on the directions, but I'm just going to say them out loud. So we're going to go with page 1, and then we're going to find page 3. Looks like it's on the other side. Page 3, and then we're going to put down page 5, and then we're going to put down page 7. And 7 and 8 should be a spread. This is the center of the book. So stack it all up real nice, and hold it, and fold it in half. And the front cover should be blank. I like to leave it not stapled yet when I fill it out, because it's a lot easier to fill out and color and pull pages out if you make a mistake if it's not stapled yet. When you're done, the trick here is to look at your stapler right in here to see where the little cradle for the staple is actually going to bend, and get that centered right on your spine here. And there you go. Now you have your manual. And I'll go through it just so you can see it. And again, an example of when it's done. There's a couple of pages. I would love to see yours if you're willing to share it, so feel free to tag me on Facebook, on Instagram, or on TikTok.